Luke Thomas in Houston, Texas, just after the Bellator 149 pre-fight press conference next to the world's most dangerous man, who's in the main event, Ken Shamrock, taking on Royce Gracie. Ken, every time you hear you talk about this fight, everything you say sounds sincere. So this is not a question about sincerity. It's about priority. You often talk about redemption, and I'm very curious, for a guy who is a legend in the sport, who's rematching another guy that launched everything that we see around us today, why is redemption so critical for you?
Well, I think it goes with all the things that happened in the prior 2 fights when he fought, where they took my shoes away, 24 hours before the event. Never went in a ring without wrestling shoes. It was supposed to be no holds barred, no rules, no time at anything goes. And they come to me 24 hours before the event and they take my shoes away, my wrestling shoes. A lot of people don't understand how much that affects you, but that canvas is very slippery without having any, especially if you haven't practiced before without it. And so it took me back. But I never said anything, only to them. And I wanted a rematch, and I got it. Well, when I got the rematch, they put a time limit in there. Well, then on top of which, I didn't want the time limit. I trained for a 3-hour fight. And then they put it in there, and I'm sure Royce didn't want it either, but it's what the station wanted. Well, they got the time limit in there. Well, the time runs up, which is okay, whatever. His brother stands up and yells for 3 more minutes. They get 3 more minutes, which I'm fine with that. I was like, yeah, let's go. Well, I popped him in his eye, blew his eye up, and I started to take over on him. And then time runs up, and I'm thinking, oh, well, it's over. Well, I got my shot in. He yells 3 more minutes. They give him 3 more minutes. So we go after it again, and they didn't want the 3 minutes. And I ended up taking more over on Royce, took him down, started beating on his body, beating on his head, and I really started to take over like I had planned on doing with the 3-hour fight, like just wearing him out, taking my time, don't make mistakes, cook him, slow him down, beat him down, then finish him. And it was starting to work. Second time it runs up. I'm waiting for 3 more minutes. It doesn't happen. So I raise up and I said, hey, 3 more minutes. I didn't get the 3 more minutes. But they asked for 3 more minutes twice, and they got it. That's the kind of stuff that I dealt with early on going through this. How in the world how can you go into a fight and have it fair when you got them changing things all the time on you? They were moving the card around all over the place, and I never really got to voice my opinion on that. This is a great opportunity for me to bring back that a little bit and tell them, hey, listen, the things that I had to go to in order to fight Royce Gracie, they were changing things around, and yet I still went in there and did the best I could with the way that they were trying to pull things out on me. So this fight right here, I get an opportunity to go in the ring, right? And there's nobody going to be trying to trick me. No one's going to be trying to change rules on me. I get to go in there and fight this guy. One-on-one, even. To me, that means everything. And that's the reason why there's so much going on right now with me and him. I still respect the guy, don't get me wrong, but the things that they pulled back then was unfair.
I remember when you beat Chemo. I think it was UFC 41, something like that. I remember the elation in your post-fight speech was undeniable. Will this bring the same kind of satisfaction as we saw after you beat Chemo?
It'd be more, definitely more. It's 23 years in the making. A lot of stuff has gone on that has hindered my legacy.
But there's some parallels there, right? You were discounted into heading into that one. There was some turmoil, and then you came out, double underhooks, kneed him, and that was the show. It feels like there's a little bit of some parallels to that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But, the bottom line is this, though. It's a guy that I started with. A lot of things happened. Never got to really get the credit that I thought I should have gotten on the second fight from them. And so it's been a long time for me to want to get in there and be able to prove it. And so I get that opportunity to walk in there, and I get the one to do the talking. So does he. We both get the same opportunity to do our talking.
Now, you've been licensed. You've cleared all your medical exams. You're ready to go. But there's still a lingering question. How old is too old to fight?
I think each individual is different. I think, for me, I don't know. For Royce, I don't know. We'll see tonight. We'll see on February if he's capable of getting in there and keep competing with me. Me personally, I feel great. Obviously I got scars and injuries from the career that I've had, but I've been able to heal up and be able to recover from those, and I feel pretty good. I think as long as you're able to get in there and put in the training and pass the physicals, depending on the opponent. I don't think guys should be at 52 or 60 years old fighting 27-year-old world champions. I don't believe in that. That's you're asking for trouble there. But I think there's fights out there that the fans would enjoy, and they allow the celebrity fighters or the legends to be able to go in there and compete and entertain the fans and be somewhat comparable. There's a lot of fights out there with guys still wanting to fight and still capable of fighting.
Were you surprised after the Kimbo fight, or did you expect that people would come out and raise allegations of fight fixing?
No, you know.
I think I've heard you say, on the one hand, this can't be. On the other hand, well, if you look at a certain way, you could derive that conclusion.
Yeah, you know. I remember standing in the ring after it was over, and I was just like, "What happened? What just happened?" I mean, it's like the fight was over. I mean, I won. I mean, I had it pictured in my head exactly how it would go, and it went exactly that way. I took him down, he rolled to his belly, I choked him, he tapped, but I became the referee. It's like I didn't finish the fight. I let go. Just enough for him to get his chin down. And once he got his chin down, I was still waiting for John to step in, and it never happened.
So then does this raise the question? Look, everyone when they're 21 years old, especially a young man, they all think they're invincible and they want to wreak havoc on the world. As you get older, some of those feelings start to wane. Do you still have the savagery? I hate to use that word, but it's kind of what it is. Do you have the savagery to complete the task?
Well, I mean, I believe I do. I think that when I look at that fight, I look at what we call ring rust. Guys that haven't fought in a while, a lot of times they'll go in there and make a mistake. A lot of times it doesn't cost you the fight, especially with the skill sets that I have and that he has. It should have never went that way, but it did. And there's nothing I can do about it. I don't believe that I was hurt enough for the fight to be stopped. I believe that he hit me hard, no question. He hit me in the forehead. And I was very, very much awake and very aware of what was going on, and he would have had to come to me and finish me. And then I would have been able to take him back down again and maybe finish him there. But it went the way it did. There's nothing I can do about that. But at the same time, when you watch the fight, you can go, man, why he had him. He was on his back. Yeah, I did, but I let go. And it wasn't because I let go because I was letting him out. I let go because he tapped. Well, you know, he tapped, but I didn't finish it. I did not stay on him and finish him. I became the referee, and I should have. Ring rust, when you're training in a fight and you're rolling around before a fight, you catch it and you let go. You keep going because you're trying to get cardio and conditioning in, so you just keep going. Catch an armbar, let it go, you keep rolling. Catch a choke, you get it, you let it go, you keep going. And that's kind of what happened. And when I got him, he tapped, I let go. And it was just the fact I hadn't been in the ring long enough. It's been a long time since I was in there. And it was one of those things where he tapped, and it was an instinct for me to just that split second just to ease up. And that's literally what it was. And so when I look at it, I can understand why people would say that, because, I mean, I have the skills to finish that, no problem, and would have finished it if I hadn't eased up on him. But, again, like I said, I can't go back on it and tell people, hey, you know, yeah, that wasn't fair because I had ring rust and I let him go. I lost. I mean, I got beat because I didn't finish the fight.
Royce has been training a lot for this camp with Royler, which, of course, Royler is as decorated as they come. He's about half your size. Do you find that an odd choice? I mean, in one ways, it's not odd. It's your brother, it's who you know. Okay, fair enough. But, boy, that doesn't seem like the optimal choice in body type for a training partner, right?
I think Royce is just trying to stay healthy. He wants to go into this fight. His skill sets are there. He teaches seminars, you know, with the gi. And he's just going to go in with what he's got. I mean, that's what I think. And we're going to see if that works.
Let's say this fight ends like the Kimbo fight was going to end. So, like as you mentioned before, takedown, work to the back, choke, finish him. Let's say he taps or goes out one way there, but it's clear and definitive. You win in that way. What does that do for you? What will you be able to say about yourself that you can't say now?
Well, I can definitely say that I'm definitely the fighter that should have been crowned a long time ago from that second fight. Should have gotten the credit I should have gotten and didn't get it. I will have that credit now. And that to me is, for me, it means a lot to me because I want to be the best. I want people to remember my legacy and as one of the best. So for me, it means a lot.
Do you feel like you lost out on something because of that? Really? What did you lose out on? I mean, you fought in all the big shows. You made a bunch of money. Everyone knows who you are. What did you lose?
You know, money isn't I mean, obviously that's something that we all, want to have. But really, that's not the driving factor for me. I mean, what's the driving factor for me is being remembered as one of the best. And I think this has to go along with that because in that second fight, people are going to say it was a draw, and it was, on paper. But, I mean, if you watch the fight, I whooped him, I mean, I basically controlled him and did everything I needed to do, having 2.5 years of experience, not knowing submissions all that great like he did. And I was able to develop a style on my own, train myself, and be able to beat him when no one else could. And to me, that meant a lot to me, knowing that I was able to do that on my own. And now not getting the credit for that. For 23 years, not getting credit for that. 50 people say I do, 50 people say I don't. This will end that. That's something that won't be just a little stickler every time a conversation comes up between me and Royce. It won't be there anymore.
Well, we appreciate your time and your candor, and best of luck to you on Friday night.
Thank you.